We rolling now. Okay. Basically, I saw this thing online where it's Mental Health Awareness Month in October for depression. I have bad anxiety, so I thought I'd talk about it. I'm pretty private with my anxiety. I don't tell anybody besides or I don't talk about it besides like my close family and close friends. So it's kind of like out of character, I guess, but I think it's good to talk about this stuff because it'll bring, awareness and hopefully help somebody because I think I do manage it really well and I got a good grip on it as far as like how to manage it, what triggers it, blah, blah, and all that good stuff. So I'll just run down the list of like when I noticed it, what supplements I take to help it, what do I do like physically to manage it. That's another thing too is like there's so many awareness months for like everything. There's like, awareness is for microwaves that don't work or something like that. Just like it's just kind of stupid, but I think for mental health specifically, it's like important to have awareness about it because more people are going through it than not. I'd say. So yeah, let's start from the childhood as far as like when I noticed it. When I was younger, I had a lot of like ruminating thoughts where I would like do or say something and then I would think about it over and over and over and over and just like overanalyze it rather than just being like, screw it. Whether I said something stupid or did something. That's like when I kind of first noticed it was like in middle school. And then in high school, it was like, it was still there, but I guess my senior year stuff happened and I couldn't really control it. And I just was like, oh, this is not going away. And I knew it was anxiety because my mom told me I had it and, was trying to help me out with it and saying I should do this and do that. And I was just kind of ignoring it because I'm like, I don't see anybody else going through this. Why am I going through this? It just doesn't make sense to me. So time went on. And then like when I was in a different state, I was like 20, 21 or something like that. And it was like, kept coming back like big time. It wasn't like little panic attacks. It was like every day it would start to affect like my quality of life. If that makes sense. I could still live my life just fine, but like the quality of like being relaxed and kind of enjoying the present moment was like I didn't know how to do it, and I never did. So I'd say around 21, 22 is when I was like, dropped my ego, said, screw it, I do have anxiety, and since then it's been pretty smooth sailing for the most part. There's still some triggers that I noticed, either stay away from or only take a little bit of it as far as like what I can handle. I don't want to go into specifics as far as like what the triggers are, but if you know your triggers, just know you gotta like, I need water. You need like to not avoid it, but just be aware that you can't, like, I'll never be able to handle like an EDM concert. Hell no. That's just insane to me. Like, just people just spazzing out and tweaking for no reason. Yeah, that's just crazy to me. But yeah, so I started managing well like when I was 21, 22, and now I don't take any medication. I just do like herbal supplements, make sure I got a good night's rest. Square breathing helps a lot. I know it's like kind of hippie stuff, but like once you do it for like weeks on end, you're like, oh, this is helping me accomplish my goals. And my whole thing in life is I want to be as efficient as possible, have as much fun as possible, and just enjoy life. So I can't do those three things when I have tons of anxiety and stress. Most people out there have little anxiety, like normal anxiety, where it's like they're nervous for an interview, they have anxiety, and then it goes away. Let's just say I had bad anxiety for an interview. My anxiety would stay high or get high and then stay high. Like there's a certain threshold where once it blasts through like a volcano, I can't control it. So to manage it, I got to bring it down to a level where most people have that normal level of anxiety. If that's a good way to explain it or not, but yeah. So herbal supplements, good night of sleep. What else do I do? Where's my phone at? Yeah, staying away from this thing. I know we're always on it, but like even when I'm watching TV, I'll find myself watching TV and scroll. And I'm like, okay, set down my phone and just watch TV. just being like single-minded and like one dimension focused has been big for me. And there's times where like, I live by myself, so I have to do every single chore by myself, which is what I asked for. But there's times where it'd be like 10 p.m. and like my laundry will be done drying, and I'll have to like make a decision like, okay, well, I have to stress my nervous system out by just running around all night doing chores and going to the gym and this and that. Or do I say, screw it, I don't care if my clothes are all wrinkly in the morning, but I get a good night's rest. I'll choose a good night's rest over the, nicely folded clothes. I know it's a stupid example, but I've actually had that scenario before where I was like, screw it, I'll get a good night's rest. Versus like when I first moved out, I would just do everything 100% and not be lazy, but I would lay down in bed and my heart would be racing. So that's like a thing I had to deal with too. But yeah, my anxiety is like the worst thing about me. I would say it's like caused a lot of, situations to be worse. When I have panic attacks, it's not like I'm breathing hard, but I can't breathe and my mind just kind of shuts off, and I kind of just like, I can't hear for some reason. It's really weird. Like my dad was talking to me one time, and he hasn't really seen me had a panic attack before, but he was talking to me and I didn't respond, and he's like, Sam, and he's like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, I just have a ton of anxiety right now. So it's weird how the hearing part kind of cancels it out, but yeah, it's so weird. I mean, like, if you're listening to this video right now, you don't have anxiety, or you think I'm like making this up. Imagine someone has their right hand on your back and the left hand on your chest, and they're squeezing as hard as they can on both, and you gotta like try to breathe. It just feels like it's so tight, like when you're out of breath after you run like a mile or something like that. That's how it is. And my mind's like a pinball machine where it's like all these thoughts are going back and forth, and all anxiety is a distraction for what you're trying to do in the present moment. So whenever you manage your anxiety, everything else will fall into place. In my position or my experience, there's times where I'll think back to my younger years, like in sports, and I'm like, if I could manage my anxiety or have a grip on it when I was younger, I'd be a way better athlete. I would never went professional or anything, but like I would have a better better memories about certain years in sports because I just couldn't control my anxiety or whatnot. So I don't know. I guess if you listened to this video to this point and you got, I don't know, depression, anxiety, or whatever, drop a comment or say yeah. Don't say yeah. I got it. I got it too. I guess just an experience or how you guys handle it or manage it. There's certain supplements out there that I swear by that help me, like ashwagandha. It reduces your cortisol levels in the body. Cortisol is a stress hormone, so you automatically feel calmer. There's like this anxiety soother tincture I take that's disgusting, but it does work. What else? Yeah, just overall taking care of yourself physically and mentally will lower your anxiety. I wish I didn't have to take care of my anxiety. There's people out there that will pound a bunch of caffeine and fall right asleep. I tried the Bang energy drinks before, had a half of one, and I thought I was having a heart attack. It was like ridiculous. So yeah, it's embarrassing having anxiety, and even making this video is like kind of out of my character. But I don't know, I guess I'm just maturing and just realizing that like mental health is not doesn't make you weak or soft. It's like everybody deals with something. You tell me if you lose your parents in a car crash, you're not going to be depressed for the rest of your life. Like, there's certain, I never went through really bad situations at all in my life, thank goodness. But I guess I just always have anxiety. My mom sent me this thing where when you're born, if you get suctioned out, like if you don't travel through the birth canal smoothly, they'll like actually suction you out, and you'll come into this world screaming and having like some anxiety that way, which happened to me. I had like a straight up cone head because I was sucked out. I don't know if that's like a myth or not, but it kind of makes sense. Like I was like, geez, that's crazy because nobody in my family has a bad of anxiety as I do. So it's just kind of weird to me that I have this crazy amount of anxiety. So yeah, I mean, thankfully I don't really get depressed. They kind of go hand in hand, but it's more situational depression for me. Like if I can't get out of a bad job, or when I used to live in a different state, I was just kind of just depressed in certain moments, but I wasn't like suicidal depressed where I've had friends where, they tried to take themselves and they were just they just had like no dopamine. There's a lot your gut health and brain chemistry and hormone regulation all like coincide with one another. So if one of those are out of order, like if your gut health is all screwed up or whatever, there's just so many things that your body is just, a conveyor belt, if you will. If there's a kink in the armor, there's not going to be as smooth as a ride in the belt or whatever. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling, but I just thought I'd make this video. I'll probably delete it. I don't know. Nobody really watches this podcast anyways, besides, I don't know, me twice when I'm editing it. I don't know. But if I do help somebody out there and you want to share how you manage your anxiety or depression, feel free to drop a comment, a like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. That's pretty much it. Yeah. I think I said everything I wanted to. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video.